Welcome to Obstacle Running Adventures.
When it comes to obstacles like that, I actually like multiple attempts. As far as I just think it makes it more fun in the aspect that you can really take an aggressive approach to the obstacle without really being afraid of falling off,
Right.
which I think viewing it makes it a lot more fun. Like, there was a couple years ago where I was racing Sean and I made a huge move on that rig and was able to make up a lot of time and pass him on that. And I probably never would have attempted that if I knew I might have been doing 30 burpees after. Um, so I like that aspect of it. It can cause the obstacles to get crowded sometimes, though. So I can see the virtue in both of them.
Yeah. I myself would like to see, because for Spartan, and I'm not obstacle proficient at all anymore, but there's nothing there that's like really impossible. Like I think of Olympus when it's raining, like that can be pretty difficult. But like multiple attempts, like if you're elite, you should be able to get through those obstacles. So I think multiple attempt would be really, really fun to watch. And like if you really can't do it, then maybe like burpee out or something like that to have a penalty. But exactly as you said too, like I like to see high risk, high reward. I think of like OCR where, you know, athletes can go full blast and, if they fall off, they just give it another shot. And yeah, I don't know if Spartan will ever do that though. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, I can see burpees for some other things too. And obviously, they've done the burpees and they've done the penalty laps. And I don't know if there was penalty laps for like monkey twister or whatever. Maybe there was, but
It's inconsistent, which is almost worse. Like it's usually it has been in the
and I
past, more recent past. It's been
to approach it more aggressively.
yeah, yeah. I know for the spear throw, they always kept that to be burpees, which is extra annoying because the spear is the spear. But hey, that's Spartan.
Yeah,
And then I also heard for the bucket carry too. This wouldn't have affected you, but I heard that it was so steep and so wet during the second lap of the ultra that they actually, I think that I heard that they shut it down because it was dangerous. Like someone dropped a bucket and like that thing could really roll down.
yeah. I fell coming down. I mean, I fell a lot of times in the last few miles because I was shutting down. But I fell coming down that bucket carry. Um, but I kind of fell backwards, so the bucket was behind me,
Oh,
so
that's
it
good.
didn't. But yeah, I can see how that would have been possible. I remember the very first Spartan I ran in 2014 at Wintergreen.
Oh wow.
That was incredibly steep, and it was pouring rain. And Ryan Kent dropped his log, and that thing was flying down that mountain.
Yeah, I've seen my fair share of that stuff, like at Killington and stuff too. It starts off slow and then just builds up speed, and it gets to like a terminal velocity where you're like, you really got to get out of the way. And it's one thing to move out of the way when you're not carrying something, but when you're carrying something, it could be tough.
Yep.
Uh, so you walked away with the win, which must have felt really good. You said Cincinnati's next to continue the Northeast Series. Are you going to Palmerton as well? I'm hearing mixed things. Miranda seems to think that you need to go to the final race. I didn't see that in the rules, but is that the case?
I didn't even know until last night that they only scored two races. So
Oh,
I was planning on doing all three because I thought you had to do all three. And then I saw that little fine print just last night. I was like, oh, wait a second. So,
I only knew because I had to interview an athlete for the South Series, and I saw that she missed the second one. I'm like, oh no, is she out? And then I realized that that's there. But Spartan still doesn't communicate that well. You just got to find the Zen desk, I guess,
yeah, I mean, it would make sense to have to do the final one if you were going to have an award ceremony for the series.
and
That
hopefully money.
Yeah. Otherwise, you're just going to be like, I
Yeah.
guess, I'm out online. But if you're going to have an award ceremony for the series, everyone would have to be there.
Right. So have you taken on the Cincinnati course or Palmerton before?
I have not, no. So those will both be brand new.
Awesome. So I'm sure you've heard your fair share of horror stories from Palmerston because that's like an old course. But I heard Cincinnati was surprisingly difficult last year as well.
I think that's very dependent on the weather. It can become very muddy from what I've heard. And that's been my experience with that area of the Midwest. You know, if it's dry, you can be hard and somewhat flat, but then you can get mud halfway to your knee,
Hmm.
of course, and that would be very tough.
Yeah. So with, athletes only having to do 2 out of the 3 race series, there's still time for athletes to jump in. Um, are there any Northeast athletes or just athletes in general that you'd like to see jump into the series that are already in there yet?
Yeah, I mean, especially going to Ohio, it would be great to see a couple of the guys from that area. I know Logan Broadbent almost always runs that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Noah Butcher, we had a good races last year, and he's improved a whole lot. He could be a scary athlete to see out there.
Yeah, that kid's
So,
fast.
yeah, he's real fast, and he can climb incredibly well, especially for an athlete from the Midwest.
Right. They don't usually have a lot of opportunity to do that. But yeah, Logan Broadbent was the first one that comes to my mind too. I should reach out to him. Yeah, it'd be really fun to see him take on the series as well.